It is a Sunday evening in November. You are sitting at your parents' kitchen table, the same one you grew up eating at. Your mom has made food. Your dad is going on about how expensive everything has gotten. Your cousin says he is thinking about picking up a second job just to keep up with his bills. Everyone nods. Everyone gets it. The conversation goes the way it always goes. Prices, cost of living, how nothing seems to stretch the way it used to. You listen. You nod. You pass the bread. Your net worth crossed $1 million 11 days ago. Nobody at this table has any idea. Not your mom, not your dad, not your cousin who needs a second job. Nobody. And sitting there, listening to the same conversation you have heard 100 times, you think about the Sunday evening 6 years ago when you were sitting exactly where your cousin is right now. This is the story of what happened between those 2 Sunday evenings. And the reason you never told a single person. That part comes at the end. It is the most important part of the whole story. 6 years ago, you are 24. You share a 2-bedroom flat with a flatmate. Your half of the rent is $650 a month. You earn $38,000 a year. After tax, after rent, after the bus pass and groceries and the random thing that always seems to go wrong at the worst time, there is almost nothing left at the end of the month. You are not in trouble exactly, but you are not going anywhere either. The money comes in and the money goes out, and that is basically it. One Sunday night, you are sitting on your bed with your laptop open and a spreadsheet on the screen. You have been trying to find a gap. Save a bit more here. Cut something there. Make the numbers do something different. They will not do anything different. Not on one income. You close the laptop. You stare at the ceiling for a bit. Then you open it again. Not the spreadsheet. A new tab. You start searching, not for something flashy, not for crypto or some scheme that requires you to become a completely different person. Something boring. Something that solves a real, ongoing problem for real businesses. Something where once you get a customer, they just keep paying you every month without you having to start over. You fall asleep at 1 a.m. with 3 ideas in your notes app. One of them is going to change everything. The idea is simple. Office buildings want plants. Not because the people who work there are passionate about plants, because plants make an office look better, feel calmer, and apparently reduce sick days according to some study that enough facilities managers have read to make it matter. The problem is, nobody wants to actually deal with the plants. Nobody wants to water them, replace the ones that die, figure out which ones work in low light, or spend any mental energy thinking about it. They just want the plants to be there, alive, looking good. So you rent the plants to them. You come by every week or two, water everything, swap out anything that is not looking great, keep it all tidy. They pay you a flat monthly fee and never think about it again. Startup cost, $800. About 40 plants, some basic supplies, a watering can, plant food. You rent a van by the hour at first rather than buying anything. You spend 3 weekends driving around your city, walking into office buildings, asking to speak to whoever manages the place. You have a simple 1-page proposal. $250 a month for a small office. $400 for a bigger one. No contract required to start, just a trial month so they can see how it works. The first 3 offices say no. The 4th says yes. $250 a month. You write it in your notebook. No celebration. Just a small mark in a column that is going to get longer. By month 3, you have 6 clients. $1,600 a month coming in like clockwork. You do all of them on Saturday mornings. It takes maybe 5 hours. Nobody at work knows. You do not bring it up. Not because you are embarrassed about it, because you figured out early that talking about a plan takes the same energy as working on one. And you do not have spare energy after a full work week. You let the money sit. You do not touch it. You do not upgrade anything. You just let it pile up. By the end of year 1, you have $14,000 saved from the plant business alone. And you start looking at what comes next. Year 2. You are still at your job. Same desk, same commute. Your colleagues talk about what they got up to at the weekend. You smile and say the right things. Nobody knows that on Saturday morning, while some of them are still in bed, you are doing the rounds with a hand truck and a watering can. The $14,000 is sitting in your account. You do not touch it. You spend 3 months researching before you spend any of it. Vending machines. Not glamorous. Not the kind of thing you would bring up at a dinner party. But the numbers are honest and the logic is clean. A vending machine in a decent spot, a gym, a factory floor, a hospital corridor, an office building can make $200 to $500 a month in profit. You restock it once a week. The other 6 days, it just does its thing without you. You buy one used machine for $1,800. You spend a couple of weeks finding a spot for it, a small manufacturing place 20 minutes from your flat whose break room has nothing in it. You sort out a placement deal. 10% of revenue goes to the building. The rest is yours. First month, $180. A bit less than you were hoping for. You mess around with the product mix. Fewer crisps, more drinks. A section of protein bars because half the workers are members of the gym next door. By month 6, $390 consistently. You buy a second machine. Then a third. By the end of year 2, you have 4 machines, making a combined $1,400 a month. The plant business is still going. 6 clients have become 9. $2,400 a month. That is $3,800 a month coming in outside of your salary. You still share the flat, you still take the same bus. You have a notebook with 2 columns of numbers that nobody has ever looked at. One Sunday evening, your flatmate asks if you want to grab dinner. You say, sure. You order the same thing you always order. You split the bill down the middle. Your phone is face down on the table showing $3,800 in business income for the month. You talk about a film you both watched last week. Year 3 is when you make the decision that changes the whole shape of the thing. Start of year 3. You have $47,000 saved. Not sitting in a savings account earning pennies. In an index fund that has been quietly growing alongside everything else. You set up an automatic transfer on payday 2 years ago. A fixed amount, gone before you even see it. You do not check it constantly. It just does what it does. The $47,000 is on top of that. You are at your kitchen table on a Saturday morning, flatmate is away, notebook open, coffee going cold. You look at the 2 businesses. Both are working, both are growing, both need your Saturday mornings. You write a question at the top of a new page. What if I use this money to buy back my time instead of buying things? The third business is different. You are not going to run it yourself on weekends. You are going to build it and hire someone to do the actual work while you manage things from a distance. Commercial cleaning. Not houses, offices, small clinics, retail spaces. Businesses that need it done on a schedule, consistently, without thinking about it. You sign a 6 or 12-month contract. They pay monthly. Your cleaner shows up. You manage the relationship. Startup cost, $3,200. Equipment, insurance, a bit of working capital while you get going. You find the first client by walking into a dental practice near your flat and asking to speak to whoever handles the building. You offer them a trial month at a lower rate. They say yes. You hire one part-time cleaner. They earn $18 an hour. The dental practice pays $900 a month. After wages, your margin is $480. Not life-changing on its own. But you are not doing the work. Someone else is doing the work. And the contract pays every month for a year, regardless of whether you show up. You find a second client, then a third, then more. By the end of year 3, the cleaning business has 5 clients and 1 full-time cleaner. $1,800 a month in your pocket after wages. Plants, 12 clients, $3,200 a month. Machines, 7, $2,600 a month. Total, $7,600 a month on top of your salary. You move out of the shared flat, not somewhere impressive, just your own 1-bedroom. When people ask how you can afford it, you say the rent worked out. Year 4 starts rough. 3 plant clients do not renew. 1 office closes down. 2 switch to a cheaper competitor who undercut you by $40 a month. You lose $900 in monthly income in about 6 weeks. Then a vending machine gets vandalized. Repair bill, $600. The location manager asks you to take the machine away because of the damage. Another $350 a month gone. Then your cleaner goes sick for 2 weeks. You cover some of the shifts yourself, back in your work gear on a Tuesday evening cleaning a dental practice, thinking about the version of this plan that looked a lot cleaner in your notebook. For about 3 weeks in March, you sit with the numbers going the wrong way and feel something pretty close to wanting to pack it in. Not dramatically, just the slow draining of confidence that happens when a few things go wrong at the same time and there is nobody to talk to about it because nobody knows any of it is happening. You do not tell anyone, not because you are too proud, because you decided at the start that this was going to be built quietly. And the same silence that keeps you out of other people's opinions when things are going well also keeps you out of other people's doubts when things are not. There is nobody to agree that maybe it is too much. Nobody to give you permission to stop. You move the broken machine to a better spot. You find 2 new plant clients. You hire a second part-time cleaner so you are never stuck if one person calls in sick. By June, the numbers are back to where they were in December. By September, they are higher. And year 5 is when it stops feeling like grinding and starts feeling like something completely different. Year 5. The cleaning business has 11 clients and 2 full-time cleaners. You brought in a part-time operations manager, someone who handles the scheduling, the supply orders, the back and forth with clients. You spend about 4 hours a week on it. Revenue, $11,000 a month. Your cut after wages, $4,200. The plants, you hired a horticulture student to do the Saturday rounds. She is better with the plants than you ever were. 14 clients, $3,800 a month. Your time on it, basically nothing. Machines, 11 now across 6 locations. You restock them yourself on Sunday mornings. 3 hours, $4,100 a month. Total business income, $12,100 a month. Your salary has gone up a bit, 2 promotions over the years. Nobody at work has any idea about any of this. You still live in the same 1-bedroom. You did not buy a flashier car. You did not start wearing different clothes. You cook most nights. You go on 1 holiday a year, nothing crazy. Everything that comes in above what you actually need goes into the index fund, automatically, every month. You look at the total occasionally, not obsessively, just enough to know it is going in the right direction. It is going in the right direction. One Thursday evening in October, you open the app. Everything together, the businesses, the fund, the savings, crosses $600,000. You close the app. You make dinner. You do not tell anyone. Year 6, October. You are on the bus, same route you have taken for 6 years. Rain on the window, the city doing its thing outside. Your phone buzzes. You open the app. The number has crossed $1 million. You look at it. You look back out the window. A school letting out. A delivery driver on a bike weaving through traffic. People everywhere going about their Thursday afternoon. Nobody looking at anyone else. You put the phone in your pocket. You get off at your stop. You walk to your flat. You put the kettle on. You sit at your kitchen table, the same one where 6 years ago you opened a spreadsheet and tried to make the numbers do something different. They did something different. You sit there for a bit, not jumping around, not calling anyone, just sitting with it. Then you open your notebook. You write the date, you write the number, you close the notebook. That is all. 3 weeks later, your parents' kitchen, November. Your mom has made food. Your dad is going on about prices. Your cousin mentions the second job. You listen, you nod, you pass the bread. And you think about why you never told anyone. Not because you were ashamed, not because you did not trust the people at this table. Because somewhere around year 4, when the plant clients left and the machine got smashed, and you were cleaning a dental practice on a Tuesday evening, wondering why you started any of this, you understood something. The silence was not a secret. It was a structure. Every hour you did not spend explaining the plan was an hour you spent on it. Every time you did not post about a milestone was a time you reinvested instead. Every time you did not look for someone to tell you it was going well was a time you made sure it was actually going well. The money is not the story. The silence is. Because the silence is what built it. 6 years, 3 businesses, 1 notebook nobody has ever read. Office plants sitting in 12 waiting rooms around your city, being watered by someone else, earning while you sleep. 11 vending machines in 6 locations, doing their thing on Sundays so you barely have to. A cleaning operation with 2 staff and 11 contracts, running on a schedule you check for a few hours a week. And an index fund that has been growing quietly in the background of all of it since the very beginning. You did not start with money. You started with $800 and an idea that nobody would find impressive at a dinner party. You did not talk about it, you built it. And one Thursday evening in October, you opened an app on a bus and saw the number. Then you put your phone away and went home and made tea. Because that is what you do when the work is the point. Not the announcement, the work.